somebody booked a mock interview with me at a time that wasn't supposed to get booked. I need to go take a look at this really quick. Hey, RC. Somebody tried to book. No, I'm good. All right, I was worried there for a second. Somebody tried to book an interview in a spot or at a time that I wasn't available, but it's all taken care of. Cool. All right, how's everybody doing? Hey, Westry, good to see you. Yeah, so remember me? Yeah, no, so I did a mock interview with somebody last night, and I gave them a bunch of feedback at the end, and they're like, your feedback's the best feedback I've ever had on this platform. Like, can I book like a couple more interviews with you? I'm like, sure, what's your timeline? They're like, I have an interview on Monday. I'm like, well, I happen to do these dedicated coaching packages of like 3 interviews. So they got a hold of interviewing.io right away and got that sorted out. So they're doing like tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday, like all back-to-back like system design interviews. So should be fun going through all those. Yeah, today is a day for sure. So yeah, I think what happened is interviewing.io was like, oh, Ian's available, let's just slot it in, and then they realized, wait, that's not part of my usual time, because I usually have this time blocked off for live streaming. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. So picked up the dedicated coaching package is a little more expensive than doing the one-off interviews on their platform, but it's dedicated. It's just me and this person, and so we dive in like really deep on like what do they need to study, what kind of experience do they need to have, and stuff like that. So it was actually the easiest upsell ever to because normally like on the platform, if I give somebody really good feedback and they're like, oh, how do I book another interview? I'm like, well, we might get paired again. We do these bundled things, and they almost never go for the bundle because they're a lot more expensive. But this time they went for it, so yay. It'll take me a month and a half to get the income from it, but yay. In the meantime, so yeah, what else is going on? So my voice is mostly back. My voice is still a little raw. I'm a little worried about what tomorrow is going to be like, because I have to give a talk in the Denver area tomorrow morning, right before lunch. My favorite time to give a talk is like right as everybody's like dreaming about lunch. So I hope everybody's doing well. I did enable the Pokemon game in chat just for something to do. So if you happen to see the Pokemon thing come by, you can do like Poke Start if you want to like get involved. If you hang out on other streamers like Amish Ace and 9.5 and so on, they'll you like gain Pokemon money, and then you can buy like Ultra Balls and whatever, and then you can like catch things whenever they show up in chat. So feel free to play some Pokemon or chat amongst yourselves. I haven't done Discord questions in quite a while, so I kind of wanted to go into the anonymous questions channel on Discord and like clear out some of the questions that have been sitting there honestly for a really, really long time. Like some of them since last September, September last year. So I do want to kind of get through a couple of those. And then I've got this mock interview to do tonight at 11, and I'm still like finishing up a few things for my talk tomorrow. So we'll see. So I'm probably going to stream for hour and a half, depending on who comes by. If we happen to get 50 people in, I've still got those Ahsoka Tano lightsabers to give away. Otherwise, I'm trying to figure out what I want to give away for the July like monthly giveaway thing. I haven't really decided yet on what that item is going to be, if we're going to do dragons or laser engraving stuff. But I did fix I think I fixed the catalog link. Let me double check that I fixed the catalog link, because I got the whole new like website up and running. Now I can't find my dashboard. Where's my dashboard? My dashboard? Nope. Where'd my dashboard go? I just had my dashboard here a second ago. There it is. Log. Yeah, so that's pointing over to the new site now. So if you go check out that link, got all the laser engraving stuff on there. I started putting the 3D printed stuff on there. I'm still working on the gallery of like, here's all the stuff that I've 3D printed in the past. But the gallery of all of the laser engraving stuff is on there. Yeah. So if anybody ever wants anything, I'm considering like how to sort of drop the price on things, so that because I also haven't tested like putting a whole bunch of things in the shopping cart and seeing whether it's charging the shipping on every single item or if it's like bundling them together for shipping. So I need to figure some of that out yet. But I got all the software rebuilt basically to go back and regenerate all of the images for the signs and the coasters and the slate coasters and things like that. So you can kind of peruse the catalog. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to try and drop the price of the item plus the shipping to where if I do a giveaway, I'll probably do something where I give you like a $10 coupon code for the store, which will give you the item and the shipping for free. So you just go, you pick the one item, and then you get that thing for free, something like that. So I gotta figure some of that out yet. So I might do something where like the coupon code gives you like 2 of those signs for free, on wood, or gives you one of the things in slate for free or something like that. I don't know. I gotta figure out the details on that. So yeah, we'll get through it. So what happened? RC donated $350. Dang, dude. Holy cow. Is that why you've been bugging me? Like, are you going to stream? Are you going to stream? RC Maniac's been bugging me for like a week and a half. When are you streaming next? Dude, thank you for that. That's why. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. So we're constantly raising money for fundraisers to help with STEM education and get more people into tech. And so we're raising money right now for a group called STEM to the Future, which is to provide STEM curriculum and STEM materials and STEM equipment to Black and Latino schools. So if you can contribute, that would be great. Don't feel pressured to contribute, but RC, thank you so much for that. That was amazing. Typically Thursday would be like Maker Day that you just saw in chat over here, but I wanted to get through some of these Discord questions. They've been kind of gnawing at me for a while. I did kind of blitz through and get a whole bunch of Maker stuff done this week though. I got the laser engravers out in the garage. Got them all fired up, no pun intended, and made a custom sign for Jay Brinker. Good to see you, Jamie. Got the sign done, got it stained with some oak colored stain, and it looks pretty nice. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. One part of it's a little like where the engraving is not as dark as like another area, but it looks really nice. I might go in with like a little wood burner tool and see if I can just do like a little bit of spot on one of it, but came out really, really nice, Jamie. The stain on it turned out really good, and the stain that I used ended up having a sealant in it as well. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna give it another day to dry, and then I'll package that up and ship it. So I don't want it to like combust in a box on the way to where it needs to go. That would be bad. Let's see, who else is hanging out tonight? Lots of bots in the chat. My goodness, we got Botrix, we got MyBot, we got Stream Stickers, we got the Pokemon thing, and my chat's like half bots now. Yeah, so it was a really neat sort of custom design. I sent some stuff over. I also reached out to a handful of other people that have been asking for custom things and kind of sent them some mock-ups. So as soon as I hear back from some of them, I'll get those done up and hopefully get them sent out over the weekend and get that stuff sent out. So Jamie, my hope is like I've got the box, I've got all the packing material I need to like wrap it up and stuff. So I'm hoping that the oil stain will be like, cured enough by like tomorrow or Saturday morning. I'll probably wait till Saturday morning and like mail it out Saturday. So yeah, so I'm excited to get that out to you. So I got the whole like over the last couple of weeks when I was sick, I'm like, I got to do something, but I don't feel like streaming. So I basically rebuilt the whole store. Basically rebuilt that whole catalog of stuff, and I'm gradually getting other stuff on there. If you go into like the cosplay kind of area, I've got like, I don't have the gallery, but if you go into the shop for the 3D printed items, you can get in. You can see like I'm starting to put up like a helmet and some armor and stuff like that. The armor will be a little spendy, but it's actually cheaper than what some people are selling armor kits online for. But I got to find a good like measurement kind of list of like, you need to send me the following measurements so that I can like scale the parts accordingly, so that the thing will hopefully fit if you're planning on wearing it as cosplay anyway. But especially with the helmets, because the helmets are all like really weird sizes. Like I made I made this Daredevil cowl, and it's enormous. Like, on me, it's enormous. I printed a Mandalorian helmet and sent it out to Gigi Bav, who comes by my chat once in a while. I hang out on his chat, and he does a lot of gaming. And he tried it on last night, and it was too small. But it's big on me, so I know he's got a bigger head than I do. So I got to try to figure out, like, how do I get a good measurement, like, around your ears and around, like, any hair that you got, and around your nose especially, because you don't want the visor, like, pressing right up against your nose, to where it's, like, comfortable to wear the helmet without feeling, like, really sloppy and, like, moving around and stuff. The other one that I made, that I probably get into, like, doing some finishing on is Dr. Doom from Marvel. This one works really well with the really big hole. See if I can get Dr. Doom going here. Excuse my hair. Been wearing a hat all day, but like, nice. Feel like a nice Dr. Doom thing going on here, and I can actually wear this one with glasses, which is kind of neat. So I printed that one actually in a couple of filaments just to kind of compare. So this one is, I forget what the brand is on this one, but I also did it in Polymaker Polywood. And this one is so much lighter because it's a foaming PLA, but it's way lighter. It's like a third of the weight of the PLA, like just regular PLA. So the foaming one's a lot nicer, but it's a lot rougher as well. But it tends to sand really nice. So I don't know. I'm gonna finish them both, and this one's gonna get like a coat of primer and stuff like that, and gonna kind of compare the differences between them kind of as we go. But the Trudon is a trooper. It's doing really well on helmets now that I got Clipper on it, and got some other stuff kind of fixed up on it. So been pretty happy with the Trudon. So we'll see. I actually found a company here in Colorado that sells Trudons. So if I do decide to pick up another one, I've got another guy looking at my Voron again to see if he can fix that up over the summer. But if he can't fix that up, I'm going to try and sell it, which will probably pay for 2 Trudons, or better part of, well, I mean, I refunded my Prusa Mark IV kit, so that, plus if I can sell the Voron, that would buy me 2 more Trudons. So, I don't know, we'll see. So, yeah, so I've been playing around with helmets and getting stuff like that up on the website, so !catalog if you want to go check that out. Hey JDS, good to see you. I came to my office to 3D print a black keystone for my living room remodel. Got sidetracked by the stream. Whoops. I do donations every month. I was like, okay, May is for Ian. Yeah, May didn't happen very well, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, all the choices for sure. So far behind. When I finally got caught up on things today, had stuff happen, so everything's on the if I feel like it. Yeah, I've been on the if I feel like it list for a long time, but gradually getting back. I just have to take care of my voice tonight between streaming, and I got to do a mock interview like really late, and then I got to meet and greet and talk to a bunch of people in the morning at this event, and then I got to give a talk for like an hour, and then I'll basically be like schmoozing with everybody for the afternoon and like giving away swag and stickers and postman's socks and hats and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be fun, but I'll be pretty exhausted by tomorrow night when I get home. So we'll see. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go back through Discord and get to some of these questions. If you got other questions, kind of as we go, happy to kind of divert and take questions as we go. I want to check real quick whether my clip thing is working. So bear with me for a second, because my clipping software for like starting and stopping a clip broke a while back, and I'm curious if I start and stop a clip right now, if that's actually going to work for me. Because if it is, then I can fix that code over the weekend and like get back into doing clips. Somebody actually reached out to me yesterday or day before yesterday, I think it was, and they're like, yeah, I see you do live streaming and you do podcasting, but the podcast hasn't had any audio updates since like November, and so I was wondering, like, does Ian still do a podcast? And I'm like, shoot, has it been that long? I guess it has been that long. It's been like 6 or 7 months since I've actually done the clips and like uploaded them to the podcast software and YouTube and stuff like that. So I do kind of want to get back into that stuff when people do happen to come by and do like a resume review and things like that. I want to get back into doing the clips and stuff. So so I do want to kind of pay attention to that as we go. So bear with me for a sec while I see if these clip things are going to work. So if I do, where did I put those buttons? That's part of my problem. I moved my buttons. There it is. All right, so we had a question. Does that actually start a clip is the question. And then end the clip. Does it actually write any of that to Airtable? I don't think it's actually writing any of that to Airtable. That's the problem. It's not actually writing the clips. Did it write the stream data? It wrote the stream data. No, it did write the clip. So in my other downtime, I started putting together this Brickheads kit of Star Wars figurines. I've got. I also did the Mandalorian and Grogu kit. That one's already up on the shelf. This one I've started. So I got the little R2D2, and there's a little Ewok figurine as well. So I got both of them built. So there's Lando, Luke, and Leia from Return of the Jedi in here. I still have to do. So yeah, so I'm trying to think of like what to do as a big giveaway in July. So if anybody's got ideas, feel free to DM me, hit me up on Discord, things like that if you have ideas on what we should do for the giveaway. You got more Legos? Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of Lego as well. So there's the Pokemon thing. So let's go find the Pokemon thing. So if I do PokeCheck, it'll tell me whether I've got it, and I don't, so I can do PokeCatch, and I'm going to throw an Ultra Ball at it. You have to buy the different things. If you just do PokeCatch, it'll throw like a generic ball at the thing. And then we wait like 90 seconds and figure out whether I can catch it. So, and if you're actively chatting in a channel that's playing the Pokemon game, then you gradually accrue like this Pokemon money to actually go buy the more advanced Pokeballs or whatever to catch things. Or anyway. So yeah, so Chewy, you're gonna have to. I think if you go to my About section, you'll see a panel, and in there you can like actually buy the things or something like that. Cool. I'll let y'all figure that out. I don't know very much about the game other than collecting them, but apparently you can like set up like a whole team and like battle other players and things like that. I've never been that much into Pokemon, but it's something kind of fun to do in chat. So figured if you're hanging out on my chat or someone else's chat that does the Pokemon thing, gives you another opportunity to make some extra Pokemon cash or whatever. So nice, Chewy. Yeah, so the Poke Store, I think you can buy them using commands as well. You can say, like, I want to buy, like, 10 Ultra Balls or something like that. And I think if you buy things in blocks of 10, then you get, like, extra things as well. Something like that. I don't know. Botrix, relax. I need to get rid of that Botrix thing. So Twitch also changed their terms of service for those that have not been hearing the backlash lately from other streamers. You can no longer stream to other Twitch-like platforms at the same time. So you can't multi-stream to like Kick and YouTube and stuff like that unless you're doing it for shorts. Then you can do like Instagram and TikTok and YouTube shorts and things like that. But you can't stream to multiple platforms at a time that are like Twitch, apparently, or you can lose your affiliate status. So, yay. I'm not going to make the move to Kick anytime soon. My engagement over there was horrible. So I'll be on Twitch, but I won't be restreaming. I'll still post these videos up to YouTube afterwards. But yeah, I got to kick that bot out completely. Actually, I'm gonna go do that. Let me see if I can ban the bot. I'm gonna ban that bot. Ban. Ban. That's always been terms of service. Well, they relaxed that terms of service last fall, and then they've like gotten really aggressive about it. So there were restrictions around it, but now they're like being really aggressive about it. Apparently, like it's absolute no now. And they're also I think they also updated some of the rules about how long you have to wait until you've finished streaming on Twitch before you can actually upload the video. It used to be 24 hours. I think it's probably still 24 hours, but they're like really cracking down on that stuff. And it's like, are you trying to drive people away? Like, you know, who cares if I'm streaming on multiple platforms at a time? I only get like 20 people in here at a time anyway. unless someone's really generous and raids in. But yeah, they've been doing a lot of stuff this week that are really taking a bunch of people off. So yeah, there were a whole bunch of really big things that they changed. Anyway, cool. Well, we got rid of one bot, so oh, there's actually a link for all of the different commands. I don't think I've ever seen that document. Oh, there's a bunch of them in there. Oh, you can also gift things to people. Okay, daily, get your daily reward on our Discord. What? They got a daily reward too? And I'm missing out on all the things. Feel free to go hit up their Discord community. And while you're there, go check out our Discord community. So one of the things, so I made a change to the bot that anytime anybody wins a giveaway, it's going to post that in the giveaway channel. I'm going to use the giveaway channel to, there's like a giveaway info channel. I'm going to post everything about giveaways in that channel instead of in the announcements channel. So if you care about upcoming giveaways, you'll need to make sure you get the notifications on that channel. Yeah, so speaking of Discord, I'm going to start grabbing a couple of questions from time to time throughout the evening, and we're just going to paste those in. I'll be doing the little clips and stuff like that, so if I'm not responding to chat, that's why, but I will get caught up once I finish answering things. So if in the meantime, if you find interesting little Pokemon characters coming through from that bot, feel free to jump in on. Botrix was really aggressive against the community game. My favorite was a Twitch CEO saying he expects streamers to make money based on partnerships. Yeah, and then they restrict like how much screen real estate you're allowed to put, like affiliate things and things like that. Like you're only allowed 2% or 3% of your screen space. That's going to hurt a lot of streamers. I'm thinking of one in particular who's got like a whole banner down in like this corner of their interface. It's like 5 or 6 different sponsors and whatever. Like that's going to have to go away because they're limiting now how much screen real estate you can do, like promotions and stuff like that. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So use that Pokemon as a great hold screen. Yeah, there was something else in that Twitch CEO thing that I saw a headline about that like really grossed a bunch of people out. I'm not going to discuss it on stream, but Twitch CEO is quite the character apparently. All right, let's get in on some of these questions. I'm gonna gradually post things in here. We'll grab stuff from chat, and we'll go from there. So, all right. So I'll be posting the question in here, and then we'll like snip all that stuff from chat kind of as we go. We had an anonymous question in our Discord community that says, is it appropriate to ask if a company has any other positions available if you've already been rejected for a job? I've chatted about this a long time ago on the stream. If a company has multiple roles open, you can always apply for more than one role, or you can talk to a recruiter as you're applying and say, I'm interested in these 2 or 3 roles. I wouldn't say like I'm interested in 15 or 20 roles if it's a really big company. But if there are 2 particular roles that you're interested in, you can talk to the recruiter about it. You can absolutely follow up after an interview though and say, hey, I'm curious about this or that type of role, or this is the kind of role that I want to see myself in. If you do get rejected from one of the roles, then you've still got another option. If you haven't applied for any other role, like you've only applied for one and you get rejected, you can still reach back out to the recruiter and say, hey, I really appreciate everybody's time. Like you always want to be grateful for the time that they spent interviewing you and the evaluation process and so on. But you can always, like, especially if they say like, we're going to keep your information on file, please reapply in the future. Like if they're sending you some kind of, positive outcome, even though you're being rejected, if they're still sounding positive about wanting to stay in contact, then I would absolutely follow up with the recruiter, even if you get rejected, to say, thank you, I appreciate everybody's time. By the way, I see this other role. Can you speak to the hiring manager and see if I would be a good fit for that role? I think that that's absolutely appropriate to do. It's rare though that a company be like, nah, that person's not suitable at all for anything, like, cut them off completely, never contact them ever again. That can be really, really rare. Unless it's something behavioral that you've done, companies generally won't cut you off completely from applying for other roles. So absolutely, I would reach out to the recruiter. If you get rejected, reach out to the recruiter either way and be grateful. Thank them for their time, thank them for everybody's effort, and so on. And let them know you want to stay in contact and that you're going to continue to grow your skills and that you're still excited about what the company's doing. You want to reapply someday. If you do get feedback either from that email or from the rejection itself saying, we'd like to keep your contact info, please reapply in the future, then you can absolutely at that point ask the interviewer, hey, I see this other role. I'm also interested in that role. Now, when I started answering this question, I was saying you could apply for multiple roles at the very beginning. And I think that that's still feasible, but a lot of times they're only going to interview you for one role at a time because they don't want you to get mixed up with like, wait, which interview is this for? Which team is this for? So they may only interview you for one thing at a time. And I've said on the stream too, if it's a relatively small company, they're going to have fewer roles. And so while you're getting through the interview process for one, they may hire for the other one. So that may not work out. But you can always reach out to the recruiter and say, hey, I'm actually interested in a couple of different roles. I can do development, I can do QA, I can do DevOps, I can do database. I'm interested in what the company is doing. So any way that I can be involved in the overall mission and objective of what the company's trying to do, I'm in. Like, I really want to be a part of this team. But you don't want to sound so desperate, like, please, I'll do anything. Just give me a job. Like, you don't want to come across desperate for it. But if you can show genuine interest in what they do and why you're a relevant candidate for these roles, you could talk to the recruiter up front and say, I'd like to interview one at a time. Can we start with this role? And I'm also interested in these other roles. I think that's absolutely appropriate to do. Never hurts to ask. The worst I can say is no. That's right, Chewy. It's absolutely right. I've legit asked recruiters about other roles. 2 companies said yes. One had me do another interview. Another one ghosted me. Yeah. I mean, ghosting sucks either way, but yeah, I mean, what's that cliche? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? So if you don't ask the recruiter, then how are you going to know? So you can either talk to them up front or you can talk to them if you do get rejected. You can absolutely talk to them after the fact. I think it's totally fine to do. Let me go mark that one as done. And if you're asking questions in chat and I miss it, please re-ask the question. Feel free to just repost. I don't have any restrictions or like, timeouts or slow down chats or anything like that. So if I miss a question that you're asking, please re-ask it. Actually, you're really good at like reposting things that I miss. I always appreciate that. So if I miss something and you see it, feel free to repost. But if you're the one asking the question, by all means, make sure that that's getting in there. I'm also debating writing something in my bot where we do like a question queue, where we do like a bang queue or something. Then you like type in your question and it'll add it to a queue, and then that way I can just see, maybe something on screen, like there are 5, things in the queue to answer questions for. We would want to make sure though that we're only getting questions in there and not like commentary on how I'm answering some other thing. But if it's a legit question or something like that, I'd love to get a queue or something like that. Or maybe I'll make that command available for VIPs, that if a VIP sees a question come in, that you can add it to the queue, not just anybody, but maybe VIPs and mods, that you can add it to the queue, and then I can just see, something show up on the screen down here, like 3 messages in the queue or something like that, and I can just pull that up and read from those or something like that. Yeah, something like that, Chewy. I'd probably make it a little easier, like literally just !Q or something like that. And then, they would just repost the question, like copy and paste the question or something like that. It would probably be pretty helpful for something like that. But I'd love to see something visual on the screen that I can see that there's actually something in the queue. I'm not always reading chat, but I'm always kind of like watching kind of what's going on the screen, if there's stuff bouncing around for alerts and things like that. So I would notice if I had something in Streamer.bot, for example, that could like pull up a counter and like tick those things up. But then I need some way of like clearing that off the queue once we address that question. So I'll have to figure that out. you want to learn more about how those bots function. So that's my typical Tuesday night stream, is getting into software and stuff like that. I do tend to spend a lot of time on the bots and stuff like that. So I've been putting together kind of a design outline for a giveaway bot. It's modeled a little bit after what Amish Ace does on his channel, where the longer you watch his channel, you kind of accrue these points over time, and then you can spend the points on raffle tickets. The way that he runs his, though, is you're accruing these points at some rate. I think he gives you like 2 points every 10 minutes that you watch the stream. And as long as the bot can sort of see you in chat, like there's something in the Streamer.bot that it can get a list of who's actively there. So it's up to Twitch to report, whether you're actively watching or not. And somehow Streamer.bot gets a list of those users, and then it kind of iterates over those and gives everybody like an increment of points. And so what he does is once a month, he does like some big giveaway, like a Nintendo Switch or something like that, or a big Lego kit or something. And he's been, and then typically he'll say, okay, well, everybody can buy up to like 1,000 tickets based on however many points you get. So it's like 10, you accrue 2 points every 10 minutes, and then it's 10 points per ticket. And so if you do the math, you've got to watch his stream for 50 minutes to get 1 ticket. So to get 1,000 tickets, you have to watch his stream for like 50,000 minutes, which there aren't 50,000 minutes in a month. So his whole thing is like he wants it to be kind of a rare kind of event. Like you have to really work to get those tickets. Okay, check. Okay, catch. Ultra ball. And so I want to kind of play on that. But the other thing that he does is once he runs the raffle is he clears out everybody's points. Everybody goes back to 0. What I want to do on mine is, like on my giveaway bot, is I want to have a control where you don't have to clear out the points afterwards. So if there's a giveaway coming up that I want to like spend extra raffle tickets on, I should have the ability to do that. And so if I'm like, everybody can get 5 raffle tickets for a Lego kit or something like that, but I could have like multiple giveaways going at a time, and then you can do like bang giveaway and see like a list of all the giveaways or something like that. And then you can choose how many raffle tickets to buy. But at the end of it, I don't necessarily clear out everybody's points. I might still build a control in there to like clear everything out, because I do want like folks like Amish Ace to use that software. But I also want to be able to use it for myself, that the longer you watch, the more of these points you'll accrue. You spend the points on tickets, and then you can, enter those tickets for a raffle draw for whatever I'm giving away. And if you only want to enter like once or twice, then you've got those tickets. If you want to enter 100 times and you have that many tickets, you can enter 100 times if you really want to like stuff the ballot box for a particular item. That's totally up to you, because if you've been watching the channel, then you have that many points, you have that many tickets. It's fair game, right? Is kind of how I'm seeing that. Where I can still set an upper limit. Like you can't have like unlimited tickets, for like a really high end item, and like, you've been watching for a year and like you really want that one big ticket item. So you're the only, you've got like 99.99% of all the tickets or something, then yeah, of course you can win. And so I still want to be able to set an upper limit on there, but not necessarily clear out everybody's points at the end. And then one thing that I've seen on another stream that I really like is when it chooses a winner or a recipient, because we can't call them winners because of tax and legalities of doing giveaways and raffles and prizes and stuff like that. But if your name is drawn, then it's remembering who you are, and you have a certain amount of time with a timer to do like exclamation point win or something like that. And then it recognizes that you've won. And then I want to have the software generate some sort of one-time use code that is matched to your username, that you then have a link to go to like fill in your details for the prize. I'm not sure yet how that would tie in to verify your Twitch account though, because if it's going to show up in chat, because bots can't send a whisper. They can watch whispers, but they can't reply to whispers. Which is why, like, if you want to send me an anonymous question, you can always send a whisper over to my ID736 bot, and it'll show up in chat as an anonymous question. But I can't have the bot respond to you. Like, if you type in something that's too big, I have to say in public chat, like, hey, the thing that you typed in is too big. Like, try again, but make it a little bit shorter, because I can't respond to a whisper. But in a perfect world, I would have the giveaway bot ping the person if possible, if they've got their whispers open, to say like, go check your whisper, I'm going to send you a link or something like that, and then send them their individualized link as a whisper. But Twitch doesn't allow bots to send whispers, so I'd have to find some workaround that way. So we'll figure that out. So I'm still working through some of the design notes, but once I do that, then I'm going to start building that bot, and I'm going to be doing that on stream. And I'm going to be learning some C# in the process around like how Streamer.bot kind of interacts with Twitch and things like that. And the reason that I want to do it in Streamer.bot is because Streamer.bot can also plug into YouTube. So if a streamer is using YouTube and wants to use the giveaway bot, they can use it on YouTube as well. Do be careful on giveaways. Can send it in a whisper, yeah. You'd have to have an authentication system similar to Pokemon and the branded store stuff. So yeah, RC, the Streamer.bot stuff is all written in C#. But yeah, it's also annoying to do bank ticket versus tickets. Like I want the user to be like whoever the streamer is, I want them to be able to customize the commands. So it might be like bang raffle, or something like that instead of tickets or something like that. Or you can call it whatever you want. Call it coins or whatever. It doesn't have to be tickets. But that you're accruing some kind of point and you're going to spend that on some sort of virtual currency. And then you're going to, enter those currency bits into the different giveaways and stuff. So it's a big ask. I wonder if a plugin system would be good. Potentially. I mean, it would depend on what those plugins are and how well they would sort of interoperate with Streamer.bot. Because you can export code from Streamer.bot and anybody can import that code into their Streamer.bot, and now they've got a copy of that code. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the plugins are going to work well. Something like a WordPress plugin, those are like really regulated, and if it doesn't work, then nobody uses it. But you don't want to like import a bunch of stuff into your Streamer.bot and then like suddenly things are conflicting. It can be kind of chaos if you do too many plugins on something. A tiny bit of Python and 0 C#, yeah. So I'll probably like plan it out in Python and then figure out like how do I convert all this to C#. Bot and somebody wants giveaways, they can add a giveaway plugin with names and whatnot. Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like this would be specific for Streamer.bot, and so if you're using Streamer.bot, then you're already building in your own custom commands and things like that. But I want streamers to have like a very easy to follow kind of instruction guide on like go make a command, hook into this action, and then figure out how to go in and like configure it as well. I haven't found a good way in Streamer.bot to like pop up a configuration dialog box to go in and like set like what do you want to call it? Do you want to call it tickets or coins or whatever? And then like how many tickets do you want to set on a giveaway? Like see a running list of your giveaways and like start and stop dates and things like that. It'd be kind of nice, and then allow users to run a command to see how many tickets they've actually bought, because that's another thing I don't like about the system that Amish Ace uses right now, is when you exchange your points for tickets, you have no idea how many total tickets you have. So you say ticket max, and it's like, all right, done. Bought as many as possible, but it doesn't tell you how many. Or it might tell you how many, but it doesn't tell you a grand total. Like you bought 300 and now you're at 720 total tickets. And when you go to the website about it, it's really hard to like, it only shows like the first couple of people. So unless you're like one of the first people in to get your name in there to start buying those tickets, there's no way for you to know how many tickets you have until you start trying to buy them and it says you're maxed out. And then you're like, oh, okay, I've met my 1,000 limit. So those are the kinds of things that I want to improve from a user experience point of view. So I want to make it easy for the streamer to do things and have control over things, but I also want to make it easy for like the people watching the streams to be able to accrue these points, exchange things for some virtual ticket, item, coin, whatever, and then invest those coins in giveaways. So, and it doesn't have to be like an all or nothing kind of thing unless the streamer wants to do it that way, like Amish Ace. But like for me, I might be doing like multiple giveaways, and so you can like contribute your points over time, things like that. We've also got a ton of people here with like a grip of channel points that nobody uses. So I need to either figure out like better ways of using channel points, or some way of spending those channel points also on raffle tickets and whatever. So like exchange those for, as if you had had view time or something. Because if you've accrued the points, then obviously you've been watching the stream anyway. So I also want to figure out like some way of letting users spend their channel points to also get that virtual currency of some kind. So we'll figure it out. So I'm going to be doing that on Tuesdays, probably for the foreseeable future. Now that I got the store done and built, I'm pretty happy with like how I got the designs on there, and everything's kind of mapped out on the wood planks and the slate and stuff like that. That's all pretty much ready to go. So now I can focus my Tuesday on working on this giveaway bot. So I'm still collecting some feedback from some other people who do streams and do giveaways and things like that. Hey, root user, good to see you. Is there any way I could do a paid one-on-one? Is that an option? I'm looking for some advice and guidance on my job search. That's not an option, I understand. Yes, I do. So if you submit a resume for a review, you can say on there that you want a private review, and then we can chat. It doesn't have to be a resume review, but it can be like a coaching session if you want. I do have coaching sessions on metapro.com. Let me go get that link for you real quick. A link where you can see all my things. To that link. It'll make it easy to find. I've also asked if I can customize it because it's not an Ian Douglas 736 kind of link. There it is. Let me paste this in here. So you can. Oops. Nope. Wrong link. Copy to my. Oh. There's the link here. So if you go to that link, you can specifically book, like, do you want an algorithm? Do you want a system design? Do you want a resume review? You can book it through that site if you really want to pay me for it. If you're unemployed or you're a student, then I don't charge money. So just fill out the form that you already got for the resume review. Just fill that out and say you want a private review, and just give me some details about kind of where you're at and whatever. So I did a resume review recently with someone who had requested a private review. And at the end of it, they're like, how do I pay you? I'm like, well, dude, you're unemployed, so I'm not going to ask you to pay me money to help you find a job. Because it was, there was some resume help that they needed, but they also wanted help with just how do I kind of get started with company research and networking and things like that. And so I was able to help them out for a little over an hour. And usually on calls like that, I tell people, like, just pay it forward. Like, find somebody you can help someday. But if you're unemployed or if you're a student, I don't generally charge you money. If you really, really want to pay me, you can, but I generally don't. If you are employed and you have income, then yes, I would ask that you do that. That allows me to do them for free for other people. So if you have the means to pay for a private review or a private session, I would ask that you do. All that money still goes into the fundraisers and stuff that we do. So you can do exclamation point money if you want, like, full transparency. I haven't updated that page in a little bit, but I guess no, I updated it like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, any money I make as a streamer, ad revenue, bits, donations, subscriptions, all that kind of stuff, all that money goes back into the fundraiser. I don't use that money for shipping things. Like, when you win things on my stream, I don't use that money for shipping. That shipping also comes out of my own pocket. But when you all donate, like RC Maniac very generously donated a bunch of money to STEM to the Future tonight, I'm matching all of that money. That match comes out of the money that I make as a streamer, plus anything extra, because I don't make that much as a streamer. But I'm happy to match those donations because these are groups that I believe in and groups that I've vetted. I know that they're going to use their money wisely, and so that's why I choose these specific groups. So yeah. Thank you for the 100 bits, Chewy. Very much appreciated. Definitely going to pay. I appreciate this. I keep getting into interviews and they ask unrealistic questions that a typical developer would just look at the documentation to find. Maybe I'm interviewing wrong. Give me an example of that, root user. If you can like throw an example or just like really high level example of like, you know, they're asking what order the parameters go in for like a substring, you know, method or something like that. Let me know what kind of questions that you're being asked. But I mean, if that's the case, then you know that's also a signal that you know they might not be a good interviewer, or that the company is not very good at interviewing people, or that they're so stringent on what they're like the kind of person they're trying to hire. Like everybody looks up that documentation. You know, I get stuck on like timestamp stuff all the time. I don't have that stuff memorized. I know which method to call, but you know the exact parameters and how you do the format string, whatever. I gotta look that stuff up almost every time. Like if you really need somebody to work so quickly that they've got all that stuff memorized, that also tells me that your deadlines are too aggressive. So, one example, they asked about the parameters inside of the Selenium test package in Spring. I mean, if that kind of thing is part of the job and, you know, you've got it as part of your experience, you know, it may be that they're asking that question because they know that you've got experience in that thing and they want to like dive a little bit deeper just to verify that you've actually done the thing and that you're not just putting stuff on a resume with keywords to, you know, hopefully get a job. It might be that they're asking more specific questions about something, but hyper specific questions tend to be a little unrealistic, like you say, unless it's actually part of the job. Like if this is like a major part of the role, like you're going to be building Selenium tests all the time in, you know, for Java, then, you know, some of that, like if you've been doing that for a period of time, then some of that kind of stuff you would have memorized because you do it on a regular basis. But if it's like, oh yeah, I did that Selenium Spring thing like a year or two ago, I would just go look up the documentation. But if they expect that that kind of thing is memorized, then yeah, that does feel a little unrealistic. I missed from RC. Ace commented that there used to be a dad joke generator in some bot. I mentioned you used that. No, I actually have I have my own dad joke generator. But yeah, I mean, I can make that API public. So if you do exclamation point joke, it's actually calling an API that I wrote. It's using serverless functions on Firebase, and so I've actually got a command line thing that I can do now as well, where I can do like I do a command like save joke and says tell me a joke, and I just type in the joke and it saves it in Firebase, and so then that'll start showing up in the rotation as well. So when we do our raid later, like much later, or whenever I decide to raid out, I usually pull up a joke or whatever, and we do that as part of our raid. So when we go on that other channel, we can all share some goofy dad joke with everybody. So. Now imagine it was, oh, as a personal command. I see. Yeah, I mean, so I have enough points on Amish's channel to like get the personal command. So if you do like exclamation point Ian, I want it to like do something. It would be interesting to hook up like a personal command to actually go call another API of some kind, because that other API would need some kind of authentication and so on. But he should be able, like, I could probably take the like the call to go get a joke and like parse the payload. I could probably do that in Streamer.bot and just give him that code and say go make an Ian command that goes and calls this code that calls the API to pull up a joke or something like that. You know, it's not very much effort to do, but I could see where if it's not something he typically does, then you know he could be a little resistant to it. Yeah, user, absolutely reach out. So just submit that form. You can upload a resume if you want me to look at that, and I'll probably contact you like early next week to set that up. We'll figure out like a Zoom call or Google Meet or something like that, and we'll get that going for you. If you've got interviews coming up though, like let me know in that form. If you've already submitted the form, just submit it again. But Let me know whether Zoom or Google Meet is better for you. And if you've got interviews coming up that you want to like prep ahead of time, then let me know. Or you can just book my time on Meet a Pro for like whatever's convenient for you. I've got, all my calendars are synced up for doing the mock interviews and stuff like that. So feel free to just book it through their site. So, cool. Let's go do another. Another anonymous question from our Discord community that says, what does it mean when a company says they're not accepting applications from recruiters? There are two kinds of recruiters. There's a recruiter that works for the company, and they're typically part of the HR team, the human resources team, and they're trying to recruit people to come work for the company. But they are generally employees or contractors immediately within the company. They might be independent, but they are working for that company. There's another kind of recruiter who is trying to collect resumes and send those resumes to companies to say, hey, I know you're hiring for this kind of role. I found a candidate that I think would be really quality for you. Go check them out. But those recruiters will typically charge that company anywhere from 15 to upwards of 20, 25% sometimes of your annual salary as kind of a referral fee. And they'll say, if you hire this person that I'm submitting to you, you owe me X dollars. Some of them will flat rate it. Some of them will do a percentage. And I've seen a lot of those percentages between the 15 and 20% range, which with tech salaries, if I'm making, say, $200,000 a year, that 20% is a lot of money for a company to say, okay, let's, if we decide to hire this person at $200,000, now we owe the recruiter $40,000 for finding us this person. That's a lot of money to spend. And so a lot of companies are really resistant to use that kind of recruiter or recruiting agency who just shows up and starts sending them emails saying, hey, I see you're hiring for this role. I've got a candidate. Even if they've kind of interviewed them and screened them a little bit, if that recruiter isn't known by the company to know, let's say, let's imagine here for a second, like I'm the hiring company. RC Maniac is like this third-party recruiter, and that third-party recruiter is trying to submit Chewy for a job at my company. Well, Chewy could apply directly, right? But then Chewy's in this big pool of people. And so RC Maniac might find Chewy's resume and try to submit Chewy's resume to me and say, hey, I've already interviewed Chewy. They seem like a really quality candidate. They would be a really good fit for your role. If I don't know RC Maniac, why would I trust RC Maniac? They're going to say, hey, I got this really great candidate. And the only way that they're going to send me Chewy's resume is if I agree to their terms of paying some finder's fee. And like I said, that can be really, really expensive sometimes. Now, typically, RC Maniac, as that hiring recruiter agency, would have an agreement with Chewy saying, hey, I'm going to submit you to this job at Ian's company, but you're not allowed to apply directly. You have to come through us because we're working on this agreement or whatever. So the first thing you want to do if you are applying for jobs and you get reached out to by a recruiter saying, hey, I'd like to submit, I'm working on behalf of company, ABC, or, I work with Ian's company and I want to submit your resume to Ian's company. The first thing you want to do is ask that recruiter, do you actually have a partnership agreement with this company already with agreed upon terms for referral fees? You want to ask them straight up, do you have that agreement? If not, I'm not interested in working with you. The problem though is that those recruiters, like they only have to submit like one or two people, or they'll typically submit hundreds of people to hundreds of jobs because they only need one or two of those people to get a job to make it worth their while and make a pretty decent income. Imagine making $20,000, $30,000 for a couple of hours worth of work and then not have to work the rest of the month. It's a pretty good deal, right? But you have to be trusted by that other company. And so a lot of companies are like, we won't take resumes from third-party agencies or third-party recruiters. We have our own recruiting team. We'll try to find our own people. We call it sourcing. We're going to try to source our own people, or people are going to apply to us directly, but we're not going to let recruiting agencies send us resumes because they don't want to have to pay that referral fee. It's a huge amount of money. It's already expensive enough to dedicate people's time, phone calls, emails, doing like take-home assignments and like evaluating those. Like there's a lot of time involved in actually hiring somebody, and the legal fees of drawing up contracts to actually, get a hiring agreement and, all that kind of stuff. And then actually onboarding them and all the HR paperwork and, maybe a signing bonus. Like that's already expensive enough. It can cost between $10,000 and $30,000 just for a company alone to hire somebody. To then also have to pay a recruiter some chunk of money is a huge expense for the company. Now, a lot of those terms are like, if I hire Chewy through RC Maniac, I have to say Chewy has to work for us for 90 days before I pay out that referral fee, because I don't want to just hire you and then you go find Chewy another job right away and then we lose out. Meanwhile, I've already paid you. They have to work out for 90 days. That's kind of that probationary period where a lot of companies are just kind of trying things out and see whether you're going to fit in on the team, whether you're actually going to get work done. That's why the first 60, 90 days is so important at a company. Regardless of whether you go through a recruiter, the first 60, 90 days are pretty vital to show you can work on the team, you're going to get your job done, you're asking good questions, you're documenting things, and that you're working within their process. Then you're going to get through that probationary period just fine. But if I'm going to pay RC Maniac a referral fee for submitting Chewy to my job, then I want Chewy to be there some minimum amount of time. The other downside to this is recruiters will sometimes work with a candidate and say, hey, go take that job. I'm going to call you in 6 to 8 months with more opportunities because I know you want that 10, 15% pay bump, maybe a title bump, whatever. And I'm going to go find, maybe RC Maniac's going to go find Chewy another job at some other company. And so I've actually heard of recruiters that work very regularly with people to job hop, for stay at that job 8, 9 months, maybe a year, and then hop to some other job, make a chunk more money. Well, that chunk more money, they're also making the referral bonus off of that raise as well. And so they're actually doing you a bit of a disservice because now your resume makes you look like a job hopper because you're changing jobs so frequently. Every 6 to 8 months, 9 months, a year, you change that job all the time. Suddenly companies are like, why would we want to hire this person? They're only going to stay for 6 months. Why are we going to pay an enormous salary, all the expense of onboarding somebody, and pay a recruiter a referral bonus when this person's only going to stay for 6 months anyway? Not going to happen. Nobody's that generous. Companies aren't going to just, oh yeah, let's do that. Companies are going to start to not want to interview you because they're going to see that history. So you have to be really careful about how you sort of talk about that stuff on a resume. Not that you want to hide it, but you have to be really careful if you start working with a recruiter in that sense to job hop in order to keep making those pay raises or maybe title bumps and things like that. You have to be really careful about that because it can really backfire on you. Doesn't mean anything to the recruiter because if you can't get a job anymore, no problem. They've made all kinds of money off of you anyway. They're just going to keep shopping around for other people. Meanwhile, you're the one out of a job and can't find a new job because nobody wants to hire you because you're a job hopper. So if you do get a job through a third-party agency and you actually successfully stay at that job and they hit you up 6, 7, 8 months later saying, hey, I found this other really great opportunity, just say, I'm staying here for at least a year and a half. Don't contact me. Unless something happens, I'll call you, but don't contact me about other jobs. Because in the short term, it can be beneficial. But in the long term, it's not gonna be a good look for you. So be really careful if you're gonna work with recruiters on that kind of thing. It is beneficial if you want to get those really rapid increases in pay. It can be beneficial, but it can also really backfire on you as well. So that's why companies tend not to work with those third-party agencies and won't take resumes from third-party agencies because they don't want to deal with the extra expense. It's already expensive enough to hire somebody. I shouldn't have to pay somebody else a referral fee for that too. Basically spam you for your resume. Yeah. I mean, I get hit up all the time from recruiters saying, oh, I'm working with this company. I'm like, no, you're not. And so for the longest time, I would say I'm only interested in speaking with recruiters from the business themselves. So if you're like, unless you actually have an active working agreement with that company, I'm not interested in having a conversation with you or sending you my resume. Most of them will go away at that point. The ones that do come back and say, oh yeah, we totally have a working agreement, I say, I'd like to see a copy of that working agreement, because I want to verify that you actually have a working agreement with that company. I want to know who the person is that you're talking to. I want to be able to verify that they actually work at the company, that you're not just sending me some document that you're filling in with, Bob Jones or whatever is their, some generic name. I want to know that that person actually works there. I want to be able to verify that you've got this partnership, or I'm not talking to you at all. So I actually stopped working with third-party agencies a long, long time ago. There was one in the Los Angeles area that I was actually very happy to work with. They actually treated me really, really well as a third-party agency, and they found me some really good placements for a while. But even after a certain point, you build up enough experience. You don't need those third-party agencies, because you have enough experience and you've got enough stories to tell that you can get through the interviews on your own. You can apply for things where people are interested in the kind of experience that you've been building up, that you don't really need those third-party recruiters anymore. Unless you can find a company who's like flat rating things and saying like, hey, if you hire this person, my referral fee is only like $1,000 or $5,000 or something a lot more reasonable, then companies are a little more willing to do that. But most of the time companies are like, nah, we're not going to deal with third-party agencies at all, because a lot of them are really shady. And the shadiest of them are just going to pull those people back out afterward anyway. Or they'll hit that person up and say, hey, how are you liking that job? Do you have any other coworkers over there that, are not happy, that might be looking for a job? Send them my way. I'll give you part of this referral bonus. Like, I'll give you like 5-10% kickback on referral that I get if I can place them. Like, they come up with all kinds of shady things like that. I did have one person in LA that I had a really bad experience with, who was a third-party agent. He was independent, and he was trying to like build up his own business. And I was writing like, so my iandouglas.com blog, I've got like tons of stuff on there about like these third-party agencies and how shady they are and whatever. I got a whole blog series you can go read. And this guy reached out and he's like, hey, I know that you like to really dump on third-party agencies, but could you write a really nice piece about me? I've got some like tickets to a Lakers game. I'll give you some Lakers tickets. I'm like, yeah, I'll write a piece. So I wrote a piece on how recruiters will sometimes try to bribe you into writing really good reviews. Haven't heard from him since. And I don't miss talking to him at all either. So yeah, sometimes they can get pretty shady for sure. Not all of them. Some of them are legitimately trying to make their way, but a lot of times they're just doing it to make a quick buck. Because when you factor in that 15-20% referral bonus, it ends up being a lot of money for them, and they only need to find like one or two people now and then. Like when you think about, like, if you're making say $10,000 a month as a developer, and somebody can make that $10,000 or $15,000 in a month or two, placing people at a job, they're effectively making as much money as we are as developers, just by finding good candidates, submitting them to a company that will work with them. Sometimes they'll fight pretty hard to be like, hey, I'm not even going to submit anybody to your company. I just want to like set up that working agreement with you. I'll come in as an independent kind of thing. Some of them are legitimately like trying to build that kind of thing up. When I worked at SendGrid, we actually had a third-party person come on as a contractor, and our head of HR knew how much I hated recruiters, like especially, third-party agency recruiters. He knew how much I hated third-party agency recruiters. And so Josh, who I've had on the stream in the past, we did like a whole resume review blitz, where he was like the HR manager and I was the engineering manager. Let's look at a bunch of resumes, if you remember that stream. And Josh actually said, hey, Ian, can you come interview this third-party agency recruiter as part of our interview process for whether we want to bring them in as an actual independent contractor? And I put the fear of God in that person. I'm like, I love this company. I don't want you to trash the perception of this company by being the typical shady kind of recruiter. And it freaked the guy out, like, badly. He told me afterwards, he's like, that was the scariest interview I've ever had. Like, I've worked with a lot of companies. That was the scariest interview I'd ever had, where someone like, don't you dare, put this company through the mud. Like, and we had a great working relationship. His name was also Josh. And we also had a really great working relationship. And I continued to work with him when I left SendGrid. I went to another company and I called him up and I'm like, hey, are you still doing independent things? Because I could use a recruiter to help find me some people. And we made it happen because he knew, like, he was able to kind of win my respect with playing nicely. And so once that kind of ironed out, when I got my next job after SendGrid, I reached out to this other Josh and I'm like, hey, if you're still doing independent things, like, I could use some people. Actually, I think it was that job and the following job. I think I used Josh on both of those. I don't know that we ever actually hired anybody through him, but actually, no, it was the second job after SendGrid. It was only the second job after SendGrid, I think. But yeah, you know, and you know, we kept in contact. We haven't chatted in a couple of years, but we kept in contact for a while. And anytime we would chat, he's like, man, I still remember that interview. You scared the crap out of me. Anyway, good times. I got laid off from my $250K job at Facebook, Amazon, Google. I'll just have a recruiter do the work for me. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, some of those recruiters, though, like some of those independent recruiters will actually go work for FANG companies, but they won't make that kind of money. Like they won't make like a 15, 20% referral fee. It'll be a lot lower because their salaries are so inflated. They're not going to pay a recruiter like 40, 50 grand to source somebody. This is not going to happen. Like even the big FANG companies won't pay third-party contract recruiters for that kind of stuff. Hey, Ethan, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, school. Yeah, gotta remember to hydrate myself. I've been chatting with a couple of folks. Sorry, I saw Free Heathen like dropped in a while back. Sorry about that. I was kind of going through a clip and kind of ranting about recruiters there. So sorry, I tend not to pay too much attention to chat while I'm like building those clips. But yeah, I've been chatting with Free Heathen, been chatting with some other people about an idea that I have about doing some community education around 3D design, 3D printing, and post-processing, where we can get a bunch of people together to say, like, you know, let's get Free Heathen to design something, we'll send it to RC Maniac to print, and then RC Maniac will ship it to me and I'll paint it, and then we like sell it and we'll split the money across the three of us or something like that. Originally I was thinking like we do it as a giveaway or something, but why not try to make a little bit of money? If it's a quality piece and, you know, we put quality effort into like building the thing and painting the thing and whatever, no reason we can't sell it for a little bit of money. I mean, we wouldn't make it like, you know, here's this $1,000 item, but I've been chatting with a couple other people. I sent a handful of folks some notes the other day and been collecting some feedback from that. So Free Heathen, I'm thinking about getting that going maybe in August. July is going to be pretty busy for me, kind of like wrapping up the summer, and then August is going to be like kids getting back into school, so I'll be kind of like winding down on some stuff as they're getting back into school. But I'm thinking we'll probably, like, I want to do some calls with people in July and like actually get a bunch of heads together and talk about like logistics and details and stuff like that, and see if we can get that up and running in August. So user input escape, not doing much. I don't know what you're talking about, RC. Something about all the dollar signs? Did the dollar signs break something? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Do message escape on your chat printout? I don't know. I had one time where a recruiter said that they had roles that I matched, and then when I agreed to talk to them, they came back and said, oh, we don't have any job for C++ in New York. It's like, well, that's what you told me. Yeah. Yeah, like some of them are super shady, and some of them that I've been talking to, like they don't even live in the area where I was living at the time. And they're like, oh, we found this really great job. It's only like 15 miles away. It's like, oh, you're not from LA, are you? They're like, no, I'm in, you know, some other part of the country. It's like, yeah, if you lived in LA, you would know that I'm not driving that 15 miles. That 15 miles is going to take me like 2 hours to drive in LA traffic. It's not happening. So yeah, like a lot of times they have no idea. So I've got a collection of those stories. If you want to go check it out, iandouglas.com. I've got my tech blog over there. I haven't written anything on that blog in ages, but there's a whole section on there called Headhunter Nightmares, that you can go check out. I've got some pretty fun stories. They were all from like, gosh, going on 2 decades ago. I think I wrote most of those around like 2010, 2011 kind of era. So it's 2010, 10, 15 years. Sorry, not 2 decades. But a lot of it was like, you know, leading up to that time frame, the last like 5 years or so leading up to that 2010, 2011 kind of era. And I was just writing story after story after story. It's pretty wild, the way that some recruiters will try to treat you and try to get you into applying for jobs and stuff. Changed a bunch of dollar signs into $message. I didn't see that. I didn't see it in my chat anyway. Is that the dollar message equals John dollars? I don't see where it was replacing your text, RC. But it would be worth looking into my Python bot to see if there's something going on there. Not the Twitch chat. Look at the printout on my screen. Oh yeah, message equals John $dollar message quote. Oh yeah, that's weird. So that chat is coming from, I think, Own3D. I forget where that one's actually coming from. Let's see if I can figure that out. Alerts in chat. Alerts in chat. User chat. Properties. It's coming from Streamlabs. So Streamlabs is interpreting all of that and then sending that in as a browser source to OBS. So they're interpreting something on their side where whatever you're sending is goofing up on Streamlabs. So another idea that I had, if the restreaming thing was going to remain a possibility, I was debating streaming to Twitch and YouTube and having Streamer.bot watch the chats and dump everything into Discord, and then have my OBS pull that list of chats out of Discord to show on the screen. So whether you're on YouTube or on Twitch, you'd have like a unified sort of chat thing show up over here, because right now it's only showing Twitch. I don't know of any service that can watch multiple channels and like blend that stuff together. So I wanted to kind of build that stuff myself, but now Twitch is being really aggressive about streaming on multiple platforms at the same time. So it's almost a moot point unless people really want to get around it. But I think it'd be interesting to like take a chat and merge it into Discord anyway. So when stuff comes in, you flag it as, you know, this was RC Maniac and this is the timestamp and whatever, and then have all of that chat like come back into OBS as a source to kind of read that stuff in. I've seen some people do some really interesting things with chat, but if I ever want to like stream on multiple platforms again, like stream on Twitch and YouTube and Kick or whatever, Kick is going to have their API out in October, November, according to Kick. I had reached out to them on LinkedIn a while back, and they just got back to me this morning. They're like, we're going to have our API out in October, November. And so I'm like, well, if you want a beta tester, you know, I work with APIs, I work at Postman. So we'll see whether they respond to that. But I'd love to tie all these things in together and have like put all that through Discord and then have Discord like show it as a browser source in OBS. I think that would be helpful for people that do want to stream on multiple platforms. We'll see. I know Restream already does that. I'm basically trying to reinvent Restream. A bunch of dollar signs becomes a formatting escape. Yeah, it's got to be something that they're doing on their side. Drive me nuts. They ask for me for references when they are my literal reference. Yeah. Oh, when the recruiter is your reference? Yeah. I mean, asking for references is kind of silly in the first place, though, for Heathen. Because when you think about it, they're like, give me the list of 3 people who are only going to tell me really, really nice things about you. It's like, why would I give you the list of names of people that are not going to say really nice things about me? You know, of course you're going to put your best foot forward. You want to give, like, I want you to call the people that are only going to tell you the very best things about me and, like, you know, can adequately talk about growth areas that don't come across super negative. Like, of course I'm only going to give you those names. Seems kind of pointless anymore to even ask anybody for references. See my CC'd you on Twitter. No, I haven't been paying attention to Twitter since I went live. I haven't paid attention to Twitter most of the day, so I will go pull it up if there's something important for me to see. Copy from Mitch. Employers have to assume cover letters are ChatGPT written and resumes are created for keyword metadata for job site bots. Yeah. If wasting a job seeker is part of your interview process, it's going to be part of your employment too. Yeah, that's a good point. Boomer hiring practices that need to permanently go away. Stop asking for cover letters. You'll get the same information during the interview. Yeah, but at the same time, like, it gives me some context into your resume a little bit. So I'm not completely opposed to the idea of cover letters, and I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X, not quite a boomer, but I think that there's still relevancy in a cover letter. I can see why people don't want to write them. I get that. You only have to write one or two, and then you can reuse most of that text anyway, but a lot of times the ChatGPT-based cover letters come across way too generic, and they don't sell you very well as far as like why you are a highly relevant candidate for that company at that job, which you can do very well. If you do a little bit of research about them and who they are as a company and things like that, you can write a very effective cover letter. Stop asking people to upload their resume if you're just going to make them retype. Yeah, that's a huge pain in my butt for sure. But I think the cover letter's still okay. I think that that's fine. But yeah, they need to do a better job about, like, if you're uploading a resume, then you shouldn't have to fill out all those fields anyway. It just tells me that you don't have a good parser on your side. At the same time, though, if your resume is not being formatted properly, we've seen a ton of those on the stream. If your resume is not being built properly, it's not going to parse properly. So yeah, I'm not going to get that data out of you anyway. So, either way, you're not going to get picked. So if you don't feel like filling it out, or you don't give me a properly formatted resume for my system to parse, then you're not going to get a phone call anyway. So. Balls here pretty soon. The thread about hiring practices, yeah. I hate giving owners names to recruiters. They bother my friends. Been a minute, but yeah. Now people just call me for work, yeah. I mean, the thing with referrals is, like, the idea of being a third-party recruiter is that you have to constantly sell people, and you're constantly trying to gather leads and source people and things like that. So, if I reach out to RC Maniac and be like, hey, RC, give me your resume, I'm going to find you this really great job. And you're like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, by the way, while I'm finding you that job, can you refer like 5 other friends to me as well? And then you refer me those friends, and I'm going to ask them each for 5 friends and so on. And it becomes like this big game of, like, how many people can I reach out to, how many resumes can I gather in order to, like, send those into a company, and hopefully one of them gets hired. You still have to get through the tech interview, but you have to source a bunch of those people in the first place, and that's pretty time consuming as a recruiter. I actually debated for a while. Like, I almost left programming back in 2010. I almost left programming, like, the late 2010 kind of era, and I actually debated getting into recruiting, and, like, to show people how to do it right. Like, here's how to actually do recruiting properly. Here's how to, like, interview people, track what people know and what they don't know, and submit that as part of the resume of, like, I've quizzed them on the following things, and these are the things they know, these are the things they don't know. So I think you would build up a lot of trust as a recruiter if you had a technical background where you could re-screen them a little bit. That's where companies like interviewing.io are trying to help. So sites like interviewing.io, they're trying to kind of be that middleware, kind of thing, like, in place of the recruiter, where they can say, like, hey, these people have actually been vetted by several other industry veterans who do interviewing, and this person has passed all of their mock interviews, therefore we qualify them as a good candidate. But it still requires interviewing.io to be trusted by the other companies. So they're trying to build up those partnerships with those other companies to say, like, hey, if someone can come into interviewing.io and pass 3 or 4 mock interviews, will you agree to bypass, like, most of your technical screening process, where all you do is, like, a culture fit and, like, maybe a behavioral round, and that's it, kind of thing. And they've got some partnerships with some companies to do that. But you still have to get through like other mock interviews with people where they're like actual real mock interviews. So it's an interesting sort of twist on being a recruiter, because they're trying to do it in a way where they're saying like, no, we're actually vetting people, as opposed to, oh, I found some resume online, I think, you know, these keywords match. You know, it's like, why am I paying you $40,000 to just do a keyword match? Like, my applicant tracking system should be able to do that. Cover letters is saying I'm a dedicated worker, knows a bunch of languages. I mean, that's pretty generic already. Yeah, you don't want to come across super generic on that kind of stuff anyway. But you also don't want a 5-paragraph essay. Like, you just like the resume, you want to trim the resume down to only what's relevant to that company. You do the same thing with a cover letter. You need something, bud? 15. Let's do one more question. So that was a good one to kind of go through. I know we kind of went a little long on that one. The clip wasn't super long. Well, I mean, the clip was probably close to 10 minutes, but we're getting through these questions. If anybody ever wants to ask an anonymous question, you can send a whisper over to my chatbot, and it'll actually show up in the anonymous questions channel in our Discord community. So even if I'm not online, you can always come to my chat, because my bot is always running in my chat anyway. So if you ever have a career related question that you want to ask, you can always come over to my Twitch channel, go into chat. You'll see the chat bot, and then you can always go in and send a whisper, and it'll show up as an anonymous question in chat, but it's also going to copy it over to the Discord community. And any message that you send for a period of time, it'll follow up as a thread in Discord. And then the next time I stream, I'll grab that question, I'll answer it. Gift subs from Zooey. What's up, Zooey? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. Thank you for the gift subs. Frank and B, Blacksmith Pop, Amish Ace, Attila, and Lalo. I haven't seen Lalo in chat in a really long time, but we've seen all those other folks dropping by, so appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for the gift subs. Much appreciated. Things are going good, Zooey. It's good to be back and streaming. I know it's been a hot minute since I've streamed. I want to say it was like right after Mother's Day that I streamed. So it's been, I think I streamed like once between like Mother's Day and now. So it feels like it's been a really, really long time. So I think I streamed right before going to a conference, and then I got really sick after the conference. I was out for like a week or more. Had to do a stream for work, and that made my throat really raw, and I'm like, I'm not going to stream for a couple of days. And then like a week and a half goes by. I'm like, I should probably stream. Let people remember who I am. So, but I've also got to now pay attention to my work stream account, because I haven't streamed on that channel in a really long time. And now with these new terms of service, you got to stream at least once a year. You lose your affiliate status. So I got to make sure I'm going to probably live stream like next week on that channel. If I'm still an affiliate, I need to log in and make sure I'm still an affiliate. If I'm not an affiliate, I'm just going to let that account go. I think I'll still use it for chatting, but I'm not going to bother streaming. But if I'm still an affiliate there, then I'll probably stream like once a month or something just to maintain that affiliate status. So. I've been missed. Well, that's nice to have. Your wife has been sick for the past week. Oh, that's no fun at all. Yeah, I got back and like my ears were hurting, like I had an ear infection, and my throat was really sore, like I was like had a really raw throat. I took a COVID test, and the line showed up like really, really faint. I'm like, great, I brought back COVID. And then I went through like a whole box of tests, like every couple of days, just testing to find out like, am I over it? And every other test came back negative. But I was still feeling like really lousy and super tired all the time, and just my throat was raw. I couldn't do videos for work and stuff like that. And I'm just now getting to the point where I can like start recording videos for work again. And I got to give a talk tomorrow, so I'm gonna be taking like a tumbler and a whole bunch of bags of tea with me. I'm gonna like try to find a place to get some hot water and like sip on some tea while I'm doing my talk, just so I can make sure my voice is gonna hold up to give a talk tomorrow. So good times. Good times. But yeah, good to see you too, Zooey. Zooey, I sent you a message on Discord. I don't know whether you got a chance to see it or not, but I sent you a mock-up of the Slate coaster that you wanted. So if you want to check that out, let me know if that looks okay. I'll get those. I'll get that started probably tomorrow night. I'm hoping to like mail a bunch of stuff Saturday morning. Fresh ginger, lemon, and honey. Yeah, that's a good combination for sure. Sure. Cool. How's everybody else doing? What else is going on with everybody? I was doing like the whole. Oh, I had a whole browser window up where I was doing the whole creator dashboard thing, and it's totally gone right now. Oh, and Streamer.bot decided to disconnect from Twitch. Activate platforms, Twitch. Accounts, login. Can't refresh my Twitch broadcaster auth. Okay. Try that again. There we go. Authorize. Okay, now I'm back. Right. Somebody try to do like a. Actually, can a VIP do like exclamation point HBD for happy birthday or something? I just want to try a Streamer.bot command. Do like one of the emojis or something that, like the scream emoji or something like that, that'll play a sound or something like that. It'll be exclamation point HBD. He did reply in Discord. Thanks, Sui. Yeah, if someone can just do the scream emoji real quick. Just curious if that's actually going to play or not. Oh yeah, it worked. Okay, cool. So Streamer.bot's working. I don't know if it's anybody's birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I had a whole other window set up and now I can't find it. That window. Got too many browser windows and too many tabs. Oh, there it is. Oh. See, like the cute things like, don't forget to hydrate. Go. Sweet. Dude, what's new in your world? You've been at your job now a little over a year, right? You started. It was last April you started that job. So you just came around your anniversary. How'd the anniversary go? Did you get like an annual review or anything like that? I'm supposed to get the results of my my annual review end of this week or early next week. And then the raise is retroactive back to April, apparently. So, hoping it's a good one. We'll see. Cross my fingers. See. You got a raise and a bonus. Sweet. Just under the top tier, folks. Good for you. Nice work. This dashboard says I have 14 subscribers, but OBS says I only have 9 subscribers. No, now it's updated. It says 14. Weird. Something was out of sync there for a while. Submitted my latest review so my boss could submit me for that promotion review. Awesome. I hope that goes through for you, RC. I know you've been kind of waiting for that for a minute. Frank and B, good to see you. Yeah, Zooey came by and dropped some gift subs on everybody. Appreciate you showing some gratitude there. Yeah, I've been just kind of chilling, working on like, little mini Lego kits and stuff like that. Got a little, all the little cute figurines. Got the Ewok, got the R2-D2, got the Mandalorian and Grogu. I had one of my kids put together the Frodo and Gollum kit. I got a bunch of other Brickhead kits to put together as well. So, trying to find stuff to kind of keep me occupied while I was sick there for a little while. I've still got like a ton of Lego kits to put together. Boss has been waiting for them to actually respond instead of going, whoops, passed it already. Yeah. You like the new print? All right, cool. Yeah, I'll get that done for you for sure. You have the DeLorean sitting on my desk in the box since last year. You need to actually do it. Yeah. I've seen the light kit for that one. The light kit for the DeLorean looks really, really nice. I've still got the light kit for the BD1 that I need to install. Once I get the workshop in a little bit better position. Now that I got the laser engravers out to the garage, I can move the 3D printers from here back over there. I can move my painting stuff back over here. And then I'll have this desk then to get back into the IoT kind of stuff. And then we can get back into doing like the chat commands and stuff like that for like the pew pew command, for the trench run, stuff like that. I still got the Raspberry Pi. I've got another Raspberry Pi right here on my desk waiting for a BD1. So I've already got the code to like build out an API to like make the lights activate and stuff like that. So I want to find like some BD1 droid sounds and things like that to play while it's like lighting up the eyes and things like that. And I want to put that on an API. And then I want to put a camera facing the BD1 and the trench run so that when people do that command, it'll like activate that camera and like show the thing. So get a little ways off from getting that stuff done. It'll happen eventually. I want another job on top of all my other jobs. Yeah. You did the BD1 light kit. It's nice. Yeah. Kid uses a night light in their room. That's great. Yeah. So we got the Pokemon game going in chat. If you want to do that, you can do Poke Start, I think, to kind of get started, and then you can do like a Poke Check to see whether you have that Pokemon in your catalog or whatever, or lexicon or dex or whatever they call Pokedex. And then you can do like a Poke Catch, and then it'll try to catch that Pokemon. And the more you engage in chat, I guess the more you accrue the money or whatever on your account and whatever to buy like the high-end Pokeballs if it's like a really rare kind of thing. I'm debating whether to like add that stuff to my chatbot. I'm sure that's probably discouraged, but I might build a little chat thing that like watches for that stuff and automatically play the game. I don't know. We'll see. Cool. Well, we got through a couple of our Discord things. Now I realize why we weren't seeing the link for the community showing up all the time, because Streamer.bot wasn't running, so it wasn't picking up when I say the keyword automatically populate the chat message over here with the link to the community. Because otherwise, every time I said the Discord word, it would have been spamming chat over and over and over. I need to make like a cooldown on that thing, that when it hears me say Discord, it only puts that thing in chat like every couple of minutes or something like that. Ace has tons of light kits. Yep, the batteries die quickly. I've been trying to tell him to put it on a USB thing for a long time, and he just won't. Get your Raspberry Pi to hook up lights. So if it's easy or better, can it just be plug and play? Yeah, I mean, I would love to get it to a point where you can just get like, you know, whether it's a real Raspberry Pi or like an offshoot Raspberry Pi, but get like a 40-pin header to just plug on here and then have that split off into something where you can plug in the lights. That would be kind of nice. But for him, like, there's no reason why you can't just adjust that battery pack to be a USB pack, and then just go get one of those power strips that have just a ton of USB plugs and just put that on the shelf behind everything and just plug all the light kits into those, and you'd have everything you need just to have them light up at least. If you want to be able to control them programmatically, then you would need some kind of API control over the plugs, but so you wouldn't have to put it like a Raspberry Pi in every single one of them. But if you have like a full-blown Raspberry Pi, you could control several of those light kits, no problem. They would still need external power. Like the trench run one, the lights don't run off the Raspberry Pi. I think the lights still run off an external source. No, they actually run off the Raspberry Pi. They were really low power. Yeah, it only needed like 3 volts to power the entire thing. So you could run several of them off of a single Raspberry Pi. Like even the Pico, there were enough channels on this to probably run like 3 or 4 light kits if you wire them up properly. But those wires are really fiddly and really small though, so you'd need something that you could plug into the Raspberry Pi that you could then plug those lights into, because there's like a little strip that you plug all those little things into, like a little jumper strip anyway. If you could wire that jumper strip into the Pi, then that would be one thing. but then you'd only be able to control like the whole strip of those lights. You wouldn't be able to do like a ton of blinky things, but you can do the same thing with the ESP32, yeah, for sure. Or you can set up lights with a motion sensor, yeah. Stairways dark. It's pretty fun to do. Like, not gonna lie, like getting into that kind of automation stuff is really, really fun, but at the same time, what's your time worth? So it's one thing to like go buy, you know, a little Raspberry Pi Pico board and go buy the motion sensor and go buy, you know, a relay to turn on a light, because then you'd need one at the top of the stairs that when you get to the top of the stairs, it turns them back off, you know, things like that. And then if you pass each other on the stairs, is it going to like leave the lights in a weird state, stuff like that. So all kinds of interesting things that can happen there. He struggles to get to around to 3D printing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think he would get into soldering at all. It would have to be something where like one of us would have to build it for him and ship it to him, where he can just plug the stuff in. And I think he'd be all for it. Home automation is fun. Yeah, I've got a whole system on that other desk. I need to get a UPS for it. It's that system over there is what runs my chatbot. And I've had a few things trip the power. We had a bunch of thunderstorms in Colorado recently, and it tripped the power on that thing, which shuts down the bot. And if the bot's offline for more than 2 hours, I have to re-authenticate the bot, and it's a bit of a hassle. But it's not the end of the world. But I would like to get just a small UPS over there. Actually asked for a UPS for Christmas. My wife bought me one, and then she wanted to keep it at her desk, so she ended up keeping my Christmas gift. So I need to buy another one, at least a little small one, just for that box. It's the only thing really on that workbench. Once I move the printers over there, though, I've actually got a UPS back here. I'll probably move that over to that desk. She got herself one, basically, yeah. But having a UPS system on at least on the Trudon, I don't know if the Trudon has power recovery. Power recovery. I never looked into that, but I got a Raspberry Pi on there running Clipper, and it's working great. So I've been really, really happy with it. I kind of showed off the Dr. Doom mask earlier that I made. So I did one on polywood, and then I did another one in just a regular PLA, and they came out really, really nice. The polywood one is, because it's kind of a foam, it looks like super janky on the inside just because of the way that the foam kind of did with the supports and things like that. But it should be really, really sandable. But this one's probably like a third of the weight of this one. Like, this one is super duper light because it's foam. But either way, I'm going to hit both of these with a primer and like do a little bit of aging and weathering on these. But yeah, I'm still trying to come up with an idea for the July giveaway, like the big giveaway. I would still like to do the regular kind of giveaways, you know, every time I stream, do something kind of little. If you do ! catalog, it'll take you to the new website where I've got the laser engraving catalog all set up. And I'm starting to drop some 3D printed stuff on there. I've got all the helmets and armor kits and stuff uploaded, but I have to actually go make all the products and all the variations of, you know, do you want it raw off the printer? Do you want it a little bit like sanded and primed and things like that? I have to go in and make all those variations. So once I get that sorted out, then I'll get more of those helmets online. And then what I'm thinking is for July, for the giveaway, I'll probably give people just coupon codes for the store, where the coupon code will get you like, you know, maybe 2 wood signs or 1 slate sign or something like that. So I need to go in and like adjust some of the prices and stuff like that. Or make the coupon specific to a product that like lowers the price, or see if I can make a coupon for a category of the product. So it can be like a laser engraved sign or a slate coaster or something like that, where you get the item for free plus the shipping. Or I'll just give you like $10 off in the store, and if it costs you $2, you pay the extra $2 for the shipping or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But I'll probably do that as the giveaway thing for July, instead of having like building up an inventory of dragons or figurines or something like that to give away. I'll probably just have everybody go through the store for the giveaway stuff, and then just give stuff away. So I think that'll be the easiest thing to do. I need to make a command line thing that generates a coupon, and then get a way to like figure out a way to get you that coupon, whether it's Twitch Whisper or on the Discord community or something like that. So we'll have to figure that out. $99 Ender 3, yeah. It's a pretty good price as an entry level thing for sure. Zooey, thanks for dropping by. Again, appreciate the gift subs. Thank you for that. It was very nice of you. Go get some sleep for sure. I gotta go do a talk in the morning myself, so I gotta hop offline. I gotta finish up the last of the talk, and then I got to do a mock interview at 11. So I got a couple hours to like finish up my talk and rehearse my talk one last time. Then I got to do the mock interview and get to bed because I got to get up early to drive downtown Denver and try to find parking and whatever. It's at Microsoft's headquarters in Denver, so it should be pretty fun. If I sell the Voron, one of the two Tridons can be a Trudon. Yeah, give away a Trudon. That would be nice. $1,100 printer. I don't think so. I'd be keeping that thing. Probably give away one of my Prusas if I pick up a bunch more Trudons. I won't need the Prusas anymore. I mean, giving away a $99 printer, I mean, that's not a bad idea. But it would have to be in an area where somebody actually has a Micro Center, and then figure out like how do I pay for it so that they can just go pick it up. So it's an idea. I don't know whether you can get the $99 deal and like online and have them ship it to you. I don't know. I think you have to actually go to Micro Center to get that $99 deal. It's a good starter printer for sure. The Ender 3 V2 is a pretty good one to get started with. You know, get a little bit of filament and whatnot. So yeah, I need to figure out like what's the price range of the giveaway going to be. If it's something that I'm creating, like I'll make you a mask and like do the aging and weathering on it or something, then I'm not like out of pocket for money to actually buy a thing. Like the last one we did, I did the big like dragon that RC Maniac won, and got it shipped out and I don't know, RC, did you ever assemble it? I don't remember seeing pictures or anything if you actually got it assembled and on display anywhere, but I still got RC's model over here that's on my to-do list to get in and airbrush. So yeah, we'll have to figure out some ideas there. So if you've got ideas, let me know on Discord. Send me some messages, or there's like a general chat or something. If you've got ideas around some of that, let me know. Sitting on the workbench, cool. Shipping can be expensive. I tend to use pirate ship on all my stuff, so it costs me like $6 to send most things, between $5 and $6 to send things domestically. Occasionally, if I got to send it to Canada, it'll be like $15-20. It's a lot cheaper than just going to USPS and buying it from them. So. Oh, it is in store only. Okay. You painted the dragon I sent you, Chewy? Sweet. I'd love to see some pictures. If you want to share it on Discord or put it on Twitter or something like that, tag me in it. I'd love to see what you did with the paint job. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to sell the Voron or not, though. I put a lot of money into the parts, and I think only someone who's going to really, really want like the upper... It's not like super high-end parts, but it's definitely above like middle tier. It's somewhere between middle and upper tier. For some of the parts, like the titanium backers and things like that. Like if you're printing something really hot, the titanium backers are definitely going to help you out. Otherwise, it was kind of a gimmicky sort of thing to get. I mean, I'm proud of the build. It was a really, really fun build to put together. Just having some configuration issues, and I think that there's something in the wiring that needs to get corrected. So I took it to a guy. He's basically got the summer before he goes back to school in the fall. So he's just going to tear all the wiring apart and just rerun all the wires and see if that helps. So. Spreading the good word. Cool. Alright, speaking of spreading things around, I gotta go finish up this talk for tomorrow. Let's see. Brit is streaming. Polymaker is streaming. Let's Play Meg is streaming, but she's gaming. Big Jano's online playing marbles. 3D printing and modeling. An evil, gothic, awesome, something. I think we'll go right over to Brit. Let's get a raid started here. Let's get the raid message going. Do me a favor, grab. So it's going to grab a new joke out of the new joke database. Did you hear about the race cars stopped at red lights? Breaking news. Let's find another one. That one's good, but I like to spend my weekends playing chess with elderly men in the park. It's becoming difficult finding exactly 32 old guys. All right, so do me a favor, grab that raid message for us, and we're going to go right over to Creatrix Brit. Catch everybody over there. I believe I'm going to stream Sunday. This Sunday Father's Day or the following week? I think it's the following week. I forget. This the following week is Father's Day. So I will stream this Sunday. The following Sunday I will not stream. So I'll catch you over on Brit's stream. And I'll see you all Sunday morning. We'll do another career prep, interview prep, question kind of thing. 18th is Father's Day. Thanks. Cool. We'll catch you over on Brit's channel. See you, folks.